Previously I had done 3 different methods of preparing warp chains for storage to prevent tangling. And one was just separating ties and nothing else. One was separating ties, choke ties, and a chain. And the other was choke ties, separating ties, a cross, and a chain. Now, in the result of the storage, as far as storage itself, there is no difference between having a cross or not, but when winding the warp, there is a difference. I normally warp the loom front to back. In my excitement about the experiment, I wound up setting up the warp wrong. Well, not necessarily wrong, but I have to do an extra step. I have to, since I threaded it through the back to the front, which is the reverse of what I usually do, I have to wind it through the heddles to the front and then wind it back. So that's the extra step. There's other ways to deal with this too, but that's how I'm doing it. Now, as you can see, using the choke ties and the cross, I have to comb this. I have to comb it every couple feet, then wind it. So the cross would have really helped there. The tangled mess, that's the one without the choke ties or the cross. And then this one, it's getting close to needing a comb, but it's not quite there yet. That's all I have to do so far, but eventually I'm going to need to comb it. Yeah. Okay, eventually I'll need to comb it. So that's the progress so far. So we're near the end of the warp, as you can see. I've wound most of it backwards.
Down to the front beam over here.
Yeah, I did that extra step because of the well, yeah, I did an extra step due to the experiment. And as you can see, this has some tangles. I have to comb it every once in a while. I have a tie. No, I don't. That's just a tangle. So I have to comb it every once in a while, and then I can carefully, of course, pull it down. So the cross, this is much better than what I've had to do here. And this tangled mess is the first chain that we wound that wasn't chained originally, and it had no choke ties, but did have ties. It did have ties separating the colors, and you could tell it just. So I've basically been moving the tangle from, I've been moving the tangle from the front of the warp to the back. sometimes I have to spread it out to comb it again. If I saw a tangle. And then this is the chain that had choke ties and wire and threads separating the colors, and every 5-10 threads, but no cross, and it's pretty tangled too. But this is still better than not having the choke ties at all, like this one right here, which is almost unuseful. But with enough patience, been able to make some use of it so far. So I just pull it carefully until the tangled stuff gets up here, and then I comb it back again. And it looks like one of the tangles reached the heddles. I didn't realize I had done it that far. So it's just the process of combing and then moving the tangles back and winding the warp a little bit. And it's taken me a couple hours maybe to get this far. So
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your blue, black, and green hair.
yeah. So I think we've seen enough to know that the cross really does help, at least with winding and the warp. It really helps. It's not perfect, but makes a difference. This is probably enough to conclude that this is bad. Without the cross, this got bad anyway, but it's a lot better than the other two. And so choke ties and crosses are helpful. Thank you.